Hi again, Jackson, Marjorie, little Emily, Matthew up in Jackman, and everybody else who might be watching. You notice the clock up there, the time hasn't changed very much. Well, Grammy McDougal sitting there said, no, you can't stop reading right now. And then Grammy Roxy said, just read another chapter. So, here we go. Chapter 8. The blackest coat may cover the kindest hat. That's from Bowser the Hound. You may remember Blackie the Crow is black. When Blackie the Crow said to himself he guessed he would take pity on Bowser, help him out of his trouble, he knew that he could do it without very much trouble to himself. Perhaps if there had been very much trouble in it, Blackie would not have been quite so ready and willing. Then again, perhaps it isn't fair to Blackie to think that he might not have been willing. Even the most selfish people are sometimes kindly and unselfish. Blackie knew just where the nearest house was. You always trust Blackie to know not only where every house is within sight of the place he frequents, but all about the people who live in each house. Blackie makes it his business to know these things. He could, if he would, tell you which houses have terrible guns in them and which have not. It is by knowing such things that Blackie manages to avoid danger. If that dog knows enough to follow me, I'll take him where he can at least get something to eat, muttered Blackie. It won't be far out of my way anyway. Because if he has any sense at all, I won't have to go all the way over there. So Blackie spread his black wings and disappeared over the treetops in the direction of the nearest farmhouse. Bowser watched him disappear and whined softly, for somehow it made him feel more lonesome than before. But for one thing he would have gone back to his bed of hay in the corner of that sugar camp. That one thing was hunger. It seemed to Bowser that his stomach was so empty that the very sides of it had fallen in. He just must get something to eat. So after waiting a moment or two, Bowser turned and limped away through the trees. He limped in the direction which Blackie the Crow had taken. You see, he could still hear Blackie's voice calling, caw, caw, caw. Somehow it made him feel better, less lonesome, to be within hearing of a voice he knew. Bowser had to go on 3 legs. One leg had been so hurt in the fall over the bank, he could not put his foot on the ground. Then, too, he was very, very stiff from the cold and the wetting he had received the night before. So poor Bowser made slow work of it, and Blackie the Crow almost lost patience waiting for him to appear. I bet Blackie did. As soon as Bowser came in sight, Blackie gave what was intended for a cheery caw, and then headed straight for the place he had started for that morning, giving no more thought to Bowser the Hound. You see, he knew that Bowser would shortly come to a road. If he doesn't know enough to follow that road, he deserves to starve, thought Blackie. Bowser did know enough to follow that road. The instant he saw that road, he knew that if he kept on following it, it would lead him somewhere. So with new hope in his hat, Bowser limped along. And that's the end of that chapter. Chapter 9 is next tomorrow. Okay, good night, everybody.